It's NBL Now. It is Friday. For those of you who don't know what day of the week it is, me included, we're in the haze of the festive season. It is a Friday, and we roll on with round 14 and NBL hoops. Joel Peterson and Damon Lowery here with you on a Friday morning. Morning, Damon.
Thank you, my man. Top of the morning to you. Season's greetings and salutations.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad and all of that. Very good to see you. It's been a pretty wild few days of basketball. We had the Christmas Day double, an absolute barn burner on the back of that. Let's start with last night, though. The Cairns Taipans and Melbourne United, the Boxing Day clash up in far north Queensland. If you like rebounding, you really liked this game. If you liked high scoring and you liked the Perth Wildcats and the way that they're playing at the moment, maybe this one wasn't for you. 76-66 United get it done. Important game to snap their losing streak in recent times. What did you make of that?
To quote my little mate, Tyrion Lannister from the Game of Thrones, if you've come here looking for justice, you've come to the wrong place. That game did not live up to the heights of a normal basketball game. We saw a 76-point outburst by the Melbourne United actually win. How you can win with 76 points only says that the Cairns Taipans, I don't want to say they packed it in, because that third quarter they had was extremely spirited, and it got to within 4 points. But as an overall spectacle, it wasn't much of a spectacle.
Do you think Dane Vickerman would be happy with that performance, or do you think he just regard that as a W and want to move on as quickly as possible?
There's no way you can be happy with it. Outside of the fundamental fact that, yes, a win is better than a loss, outside of that, there's no way Dane can be happy. They got championship aspirations, and they are simply not playing championship basketball. They can say, yeah, well, we held the Cairns Taipans to 66. But, yeah, it's the Cairns Taipans, and they got a whole bunch of issues going on by the looks of things. And their shooting was completely woeful. It's just they're not up to standard right now. And, yes, they are still sitting second, but it's a wobbly second if that's even a thing.
What about for Cairns? Any positives for Adam Ford and his crew to take out of that?
The season's almost over. That's about the only thing I can say. And I keep hanging out for a win because it's like that accident. I just can't take my eyes off of this team. I want to see them win so bad. That's 14 losses in a row. You look at their starting five. Got 3 imports: Kyron Galloway, Karen Armstrong, Sam Wardenberg. They've got talent. And for whatever reason, them dudes just can't get all on the same page and do what's required to win an actual basketball game. But they're playing New Zealand next. Something's got to give.
Yeah, one of those teams is going to end 2024 very happy. One of those teams is going to end 2024 very sad and want to ring in the new year almost immediately. The Brisbane Bullets are back in action tonight. Before we preview their game against the Illawarra Hawks, the latter leading Illawarra Hawks, if you do not mind, they have officially ruled James Batemon out for the season. Now, we probably expected that this was coming. It looked like a serious hamstring injury when he did it a couple of nights ago against the Cairns Taipans. So they've now made that call. That is official that he is out for the rest of the season. They have said that they will move on and try and find another import. They have 12 games left. They play tonight and they play Sunday. Then they would get sort of down to that 10-game mark as of next week. Where do they go, Damon? What do they need, the Brisbane Bullets? Is it like for like? Do they need something else? How do you see this unfolding?
Yeah, first of all, just a devastating blow for James Batemon and his family. I got a chance to meet him a couple of times. We called that game when he had the 51. Just an awesome dude. Just hate seeing stuff like this happen, but this is sport. And I'm glad that James Bateman has a 2-year deal because I want to see him back in the league. If I'm Justin Schuler in Brisbane Bullets management, I'm going like for like. I need a scoring point guard. They've already got the front court. Tyrell Harrison is holding it down in the middle magnificently. They got the monster in the front court in Josh Bannon and Casey Prather, who is just like lights out stuff from Casey. And Kendra Cook has been having a rock-solid season from the start. So the glaring weakness now is the scoring point guard. And this is with all due respect to Mitch Norton, and Isaac White. Those guys can definitely contribute, but they need somebody who's capable of like a 25-point game. So hopefully Justin Schuler is up on the phone. He's not going to sleep until he gets a guy signed and get him on the plane ASAP.
What did Isaac White have the other night? 24s? He's only a little bit shy of that.
Yeah, no, Isaac White, man, hey, vice captain of the I Never Lose Belief in Myself team. He went back home to Adelaide and turned it out. So, yeah, real happy for Whitey, but I want to keep him in that role of his impact off the bench, not necessarily starting him every game. You got an import spot. Don't do like Melbourne United. You got an import spot, or the Sydney Kings. You got an import spot. Use them all. Don't sit there and have them up your sleeve in case of an emergency.
Let's talk about some of the Christmas Day action. Not necessarily the game stuff, but there's been a bit of aftermath to both of those games. So the early one, Tassie, New Zealand, the talk around that is that late game incident between PJC and Ruben Tarangi. That'll go to the game review panel shortly. Updates through the NBL website and nbl.com.au and the NBL app. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, they got to all reach in their pockets. Nothing worse than getting fined. Nobody should get rubbed out any games, in my opinion. But there's nothing worse than getting fined around Christmas time. Every dollar's a good dollar, Joe, this time of year. But they're going to have to reach in their pocket and give up some of theirs. Ruben Tarangi, third man in, wasn't needed. Totally unnecessary. PJC is clearly frustrated. Has not won a game since the FIBA break. PJC was the front runner at that time for MVP. And to watch this slide, he doesn't say much on the court. He doesn't get very demonstrative, but you can just tell he's had enough of this. Losing just sucks. So PJC kind of lashed out a little bit, and Ruben Tarangi escalated it. Michael Allen, the referee, came in and flopped. Now, Michael Allen tried to do the right thing and separate him because he saw where PJC was headed, and it just kind of clashed. I don't think that was PJC intentionally putting hands on referees. And then when the next referee came over, I thought he did a little bit too much. Like, he put his hands on PJC, and PJC's like, I'm fine, man, get off me. So I didn't have a problem with that. But I think the league is just got to hopefully keep it consistent and just dig in their pockets.
And the wash-up of the Sydney Lowery game was a fascinating one. So 111-108, an absolute barn burner of a game. I mean, it sort of lived up to expectations. The Kings found them offense. Illawarra just sort of did what they usually did. Justin Tatum rocked the Christmas suit. There's all the elements were there. And then after the game, Brian Goorjian saying, you know, we need to make a change to the roster. We need sort of some more help for Jalen Adams at the point guard spot, sort of speculating around. They haven't got the best out of Cam Oliver this season. Where's all this headed?
Wow. I mean, so much to unpack in that press conference. So, yes, Cam Oliver, the Brian Goorjian-Cam Oliver relationship has not worked at all. There's nothing good about that relationship. They're two nice guys, but they cannot work together. It's clear about that. Whose fault is it? It's both of their faults. Now, as far as saying that they don't have enough pieces to win, if I'm one of the players on that team, I'm taking offense to that. Are you saying that we can't win a championship? Is that what you're saying, Brian? Okay, you've only lost to the Melbourne United twice, but they went down to the wire. Illawarra Hawks beat you twice. They beat you 3 times, but 2 of them was literally last minute. You know, it was decided late. So the Sydney Kings on their day, they can beat both of those teams that are 1 and 2 on the ladder. So to come out and say, yeah, but we still don't have, I don't want to hear none of that. And your team don't want to hear none of that. Sean Bruce definitely don't want to hear you say, yeah, I need another guard. Because when Sean Bruce played, he actually dropped about 6 or 7 threes in one game. He's a 2-time championship winner before you got there. So I didn't like that press conference at all. I don't know what Brian, I don't get the motivation behind it. Like, yes, you went into the season without a third import. Well, you should have dealt with that back earlier in the season. It's too late now. But actually, it's probably not technically too late. But it's too late to start moaning about it right now. You got to work with what you got, man, and make this team believe they can win a championship. So, yeah, that was a very strange and unusual press conference for my liking. But, hey, it's Brian Goorjian. We'll see how it pans out.
It's also, you know, they're playing the best basketball they've played all season just about. They pushed themselves towards second on the ladder. I don't know whether it's a message to ownership or what it is, but just a little bit hard done by from Brian Gorge. And they had the busiest off-season recruiting out of anyone, and now you're getting into the season and saying, woe is me, we don't have enough. I'd think Brian needs to give a few people a spell on that front because his team's going pretty well, and as the coach, kind of your job to sort it out. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see where that ends up. Let's talk of the hoops that are coming up tonight because these are two fascinating games. So Friday night hoops tonight in Brisbane, they take on the Illawarra Hawks, the red hot Hawks against the Bullets who aren't too far away from red hot just quietly. The only game they've dropped in their recent run has been to the Kings, and they put themselves in a position to win that and just fade it out. How do you see this one playing out tonight at Boondall, Damon?
Yeah, I'm expecting a close game. Now, Brisbane are playing some great basketball. Brisbane have figured it out. Justin Schuler and his team have figured out the formula for them. Play through your imports. Play through your best players. Don't be messing around with their minutes. Leave them dudes out there on the floor 30-plus minutes. Tyrell Harrison, he's staying out of foul trouble. He's improved so much, man. I'm such a big rap for Tyrell Harrison. Josh Bannon, in his roll off the bench, he had 9 rebounds last game. Didn't score a whole lot, but that's okay. Isaac White is impact off the bench. Mitch Norton is the calm and steady influence. All they need, like I said, they got to replace Bateman. But at home and playing with all the confidence in the world, I'm expecting a close game. Illawarra are a juggernaut, and they are flawless. No flaws in the team. Long as they don't relax, as long as they don't get too gassed up on this type of noise right now, and I feel like they won't because Justin Tatum and the boys are on a mission. But going on the road is always hard to win, but I'm expecting the Hawks to come out of that one with the dub in a close game.
Where do you see them having a particular edge over Brisbane?
Everywhere. Inside, okay. So outside of Tyrell Harrison, and credit, too, also got to go to Torrey Smith-Milner. Been playing some good basketball in his minutes. But the combination of Sam Frawley, Lachlan Albrick, and Darius Days, that's advantage Hawks. Backcourt, no James Bateman. You got Kendra Cook, and you got to go up against the best backcourt in the league, and Trey Kell III and Tyler Harvey, both averaging about 17, 18 each. Advantage Hawks. Bench, look, the Hawks have them covered, y'all. On paper, they have them covered. But the game ain't played on paper. The Hawks going to have to come out and make it happen because Brisbane ain't going to give you nothing easy.
Okay, you're coaching the Hawks. You're Justin Tatum. You're wearing that beautiful Christmas suit that he had on the other day. Who do you send Wani Swakala-Bullock to? What's the right matchup for him?
Now, Wani, I would like to see him maybe go at Kendra Cook. Now, yes, Casey Prather is hotter than anything that you can think of right now. Lava lamps, fish grease, leather seats in the car in the summertime, all that kind of stuff. But I think Wani needs to go to Kendra Cook because I don't necessarily trust Wani if he's got to guard Casey Prather in the post. Because Casey will go down there and shoot turnaround jumpers and kiss him off the glass. So I feel like that matchup might just go to Mason Pittman. So we'll see. But I'm sure Wani will get a crack at some point. But Casey is on a heater right now, and they need his full attention.
So that's tonight, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Tomorrow, the Adelaide 36ers host the Perth Wildcats in what could be a Saturday night shootout at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The Sixers are desperately in need of a win. DJ Vasiljevic isn't too far away. I think he will play. Sort of, it sounded like it because he could have played last time. John Casey reported in our broadcast on Christmas Eve that he was lining up this game for a return. So that's a massive boost for Adelaide. Is it enough, Damon?
It's definitely going to help them because right now the 36ers, they're playing spiritless right now. It's just not a lot to get excited about. It's a lot of hollow, empty stats going on. DJ is going to bring some fire. One thing we know about DJ, he's going to play with his heart. And that is exactly what this team needs right now because their season is slipping away fast. Can they get it done at home? I don't have a lot of faith in them now after what I saw the last couple of rounds. So we'll see. But also we got Perth. I did the last game. I called the last game when these two teams met in Adelaide, and Adelaide was up and about. Now, in comes Bryce Cotton. Bryce Cotton, Joe, hasn't scored in the last 3 quarters of basketball. What are the odds of him going scoreless in the first quarter? Not going to happen. This dude could go for 35 minimum, and like you say, it's going to be a shootout. Defense, if you're looking for defense, you might have come to the wrong place. So let's just see who can score the most points.
Yeah, that's what we want, especially after last night's game. We can have the complete antithesis of it on Saturday night. I'm going to tee one up for you as we go. Minutes restrictions. Opening the floor.
Yo, these minutes restrictions, man, are a blight on society. It is a plague. I don't even know how we got here. It wasn't 20 years ago, and I've never heard a coach even mention it. The coach would say, can you play? Yes or no. Now, all of a sudden, technology, sports science, high performance, these dudes somehow think they polo shirts give them the right, and all their degrees give them the right to tell a coach how to play their players. These dudes ain't players. They don't know what it feels like to be hot. They don't know what it feels like to be Chris Golding and be on an unbelievable heater. They looking at the clock and going, hey, coach, I think now 22 minutes. And then they picking out these random numbers, Joe. Where do they come from? Based off of what? They just put a bunch of numbers in a hat? Is it like a lotto? Is it like bingo? They just call out, let's go 25 minutes. I mean, what would happen if you played over the minutes restriction? Would the world come to a damn end? Would it be the end of days? Them guys are doing way too much, and coaches need to put them back in their box.
Rant over, mic drop.
Rant over.
I like it. I like it. A fun way to end our Friday. Hey, Damon, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend of hoops, and look forward to catching up with you soon. Damon Lowery with us on NBL Now. Thanks for your company. 2 absolute barn burners in the next little while. The hoops continue all across the weekend. NBL app, nbl.com.au, your place for all of the action. We'll see you back here on NBL Now soon.